So, twice baked potatoes and meatloaf. First, I'm going to start by setting my oven at 450 degrees, and then I'm going to give all my potatoes a good washing. I'm making this for a big group of people, so don't mind how many I'm putting in. I'm going to put them into the oven and let them bake for about an hour until they're cooked all the way through. Next, I'm going to peel a few more potatoes and get them boiling. This is to give me a little bit more filling per shell because once you mash them, you kind of lose some potato mass. So just to make sure I have enough to stuff all the potatoes. Now that my baked potatoes are done cooking, I'm going to pull them out and allow them to cool, and I'm going to adjust the temperature of my oven down to 425 degrees and start on my meatloaf. First thing, we're going to crush a whole sleeve of saltine crackers. I'm going to throw them in my bowl. Next, I'm going to dice a medium onion. I'm going to dice it as finely and thinly as possible. I want these to be less than bite-sized. After this, we're going to start with the full mixing process. I'm going to add my eggs, 2 eggs. I'm doing 4 pounds of meat. My seasonings are salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. I'm going to use some fresh garlic. I'm going to mix thoroughly, ask for a little help, get some more seasoning put in. And then we're going to work on putting it in a casserole dish. I'm going to fill it up about halfway up the meatloaf with water, and then put it in the oven until it reaches an internal temp of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that my potatoes have cooled enough so I can handle them, I'm going to cut them all in half, and saving the skin is going to scoop up as much of the innards as I can into my largest mixing bowl in my stand mixer. I'm going to add about, for the amount of potatoes I'm doing here, about a stick of butter and about a half cup of heavy whipping cream, and just some salt and pepper. Going to keep this fairly easy to do. We're going to mix it till it's the texture of nice thick mashed potatoes. I keep testing my seasonings and making sure it's right, adding liquid as needed, but I want really good thick mashed potatoes. Now I'm going to stuff my shells. So the thing about twice baked potatoes is that you bake them twice. So we had our baked potatoes, we mashed them into mashed potatoes. Now we're going to stuff the shells, and I'm going to put a good dollop of butter on each potato because I'm going to bake them again in that 425 degree oven until the butter is melted and formed a nice crust on top of the potatoes. Here you can do your additional toppings if you want. Some people like to sprinkle bacon bits, chives, what have you. I'm also boiling corn as my other side here. At this point, we're going to check the temp on our meatloaf. We're at temp, so I'm going to add my ketchup. We're going to pop that back into the oven for about another 5 minutes or so. I want the ketchup to kind of get gooey in the oven. And there's our potatoes all ready to go in. My meatloaf's done, and my corn's done, and checking on my potatoes. We've got a nice melted crust, and everything looks good. Eat and enjoy.